I spent a lot of time calculating child support and looking at all the different factors that go into a child support payment, and I have come up with the number one top child support defense in 2025 that is going to impact your payment the most. I'm Sean. Welcome to Child Support School. I'm a family law attorney in the state of Florida. Before you go on, read the disclaimer in the description below. By continuing to watch this video, you acknowledge you have read that disclaimer and you understand it. Okay. Yes, child support defense 2025. Anyone who follows this channel knows that every year or so I will update this. The last time I touched on this, I made this video approximately 2 years ago on best child support defense. And my answers changed a little bit. For the most part, it's still the same. Okay. The number one factor that influences child support payments, and look, I do this for a living. So I run thousands of child support calculations, and that's not a, I'm not really blowing up that number. Literally like thousands of child support calculations. Every case, I'm running several different scenarios and different types of calculations, playing with incomes, playing with insurance numbers, playing with overnights to arrive at that good number that's going to be most advantageous for my client to argue in court or at mediation or what have you. And look, it hands down, there's just no getting around it. The number one thing that's going to influence your child support payment is going to be going for an individual, not yours individually, generally speaking. It's going to be going for court-ordered overnights with the child. Okay, so here's what I mean. Like in Florida where I am, the way that the courts are going to count how many days every year you spend with your child is going to be in terms of overnights, like where the child is sleeping that night. You can pick the child up from mom's house in the morning and spend all day with that child and then drop the child off right before bed at mom's house. And if push comes to shove and you guys are in court, there's a really good chance that she's going to get credit for that day because it's an overnight. So just be conscious of that if you're negotiating with the other parent or you're figuring out an agreed time sharing schedule, because a lot of lawyers that you might hire may not necessarily explain that to you. Okay. One thing that, all my friends are lawyers. I run with lawyers. I go to courthouse with lawyers. That's just the world I live in. And I love lawyers, but they don't know ways to explain stuff to their clients, right? They get caught up in the moment. Their minds are always racing 1,000 miles an hour, and they don't always stop to explain stuff to their clients at the degree that I think they should. And this is a perfect example. If you want to get as many, or a parent wants to get as many overnights each year with the child that they can. So you'll hear people talking about, 50-50, 60-40, right? Those are all percentage breakdowns of how many overnights each parent is getting with the child that year. And like where I'm at in Florida, back in 2023, the legislature passed this, what I think is a spectacular bill that said that every judge in family court is supposed to begin their child custody analysis at 50-50, right? Assuming that 50-50 joint custody is what's best for both parent or what's best for the kids in every case. And then either parent who wants a majority has to convince them otherwise from there. But you think about what it was 10, 15 years ago, where the courts began their analysis thinking that dad should just get every other weekend, right? And then it was up to dad to convince the judge why it should be otherwise. Now that whole analysis starts at equal time sharing. And it's great. I consider myself a father's rights guy. Really, I'm a get time for the parent who's not being allowed time guy. It just turns out that's usually father's rights. But it's really important. Now, I know there's a lot of people watching this video who are saying, you know what? I don't really want a relationship with this kid. I'm not ready for that. I'm not interested. And that's fine. I'm not telling you how to live your life. And for God's sake, if you are not interested in having a relationship with your kid, don't do this, okay? Because I never want to advocate anybody going out there and going through the court system, fighting for custody or time sharing with a child who doesn't really want to spend time with that child, who doesn't really care about having a relationship with that child. Right? First off, that kid is going to grow up screwed up because when they're spending time at your house, you're not going to be paying attention to them, right? You're going to be pawning them off on grandma. You're going to be dropping them off, having your girlfriend or someone watch them the whole time. They're going to be neglected by a parent, and they need that, right? So that they can grow up and not have issues. If you're not interested in having a relationship with your kid, don't do this. Okay. This is for only dads, parents who want a relationship with their kid. They love their kid. They care about being there and being a parent, right? If that's you, then this is a critical step, in my opinion, that most parents should consider. Okay. And so that is just, for most people, you're having a baby, you're not married. Okay. Just most of the time, that's, as you find this video, that's probably your situation. Where I'm at in Florida, again, I talk about Florida a lot, but the laws in other places are very similar. Obviously, you always want to talk to a lawyer or study up on the rules in your jurisdiction. But when two parents are not married and they have a baby, by default, mom is that sole custody, sole decision-making parent. Dad doesn't have any rights. Just because if you're not married, the law really doesn't have a way to know that you're the father. She could have been dating 2 or 3 people at the same time. The judges don't want to get in the quagmire and figure that out. So they just default to saying, hey, look, if you're not married, mom's a sole custody parent. Now, a lot of times moms really take advantage of that, and they just will I'm not discriminating against moms. Okay. I love moms. Okay. Don't read into that too much, but actually maybe you can a little bit. Anyway, usually mom will, if the breakup was bad, right? If she's got some safety concerns about dad, maybe there's some domestic violence, maybe dad cheated, whatever. Okay. For whatever reason, mom usually doesn't want to have her ex in her life. Right. And so that translates to the child too. You'll have mom playing keep away, right? Trying to say, no, we're busy, stay away. We don't want to talk to you. And the biggest mistake that dads make is they just live with that. They say, okay, all right, whatever. I guess you're just not going to let me see my kid, right? Until time rolls around, you get served with that paperwork from the State Department of Revenue, right? Or the family courts. She's going after you for child support. Now it's a big issue. Okay. You want to get out ahead of that. You want to just, when you guys break up, if you have a kid, man, and you care about that kid at all, people will generally want to strongly consider filing a petition with the court to establish paternity, establish their parental rights, and seek some time sharing, right? Establish a parenting plan. Super important. And the courts, they're not going to make you jump through flaming hoops of fire to establish paternity and to get time sharing. All right. If you're a normal dude or lady, right? I'm not discriminating. It could happen to a mom, but theoretically, but most of the time it's going to be guys that are going through this. If you're a normal dude, you have a job, you care about your kid, you're not, there's nothing really crazy going on. Like mom doesn't have some insane dirt on you that makes you look like you're an immediate threat to this child's safety. You can get time sharing. Obviously, I recommend that people hire an attorney in their area, but there's people that do it every day without an attorney. If you are really dedicated, you can do it. I'm going to be making a course. I'm going to be offering a video course sometime in the near future through our website that is going to be a guide for dads who all need to go through and establish paternity and seek some time sharing and adjust their child support payments, because it's important. And the way that the courts are looking at this is, if you're a dad, if you're the biological father and you want to be there, you want to step up and you want to have a relationship with your kid, they're going to let you have a relationship with your kid unless you are totally up. I have seen all kinds of stuff, right? Guys just step out of prison, like they EOS and they step out and it's like they've just been out for a week and a judge gives them time sharing, right? Or I've seen guys, God, let me just go through the list. Like I've seen guys admit in court to frequenting prostitutes and the judge says, hey, look, he testified, mom. Sorry, but he testified that he doesn't frequent prostitutes when the child's with him on his time sharing days. Mom, you don't have any evidence that he does. So 50-50. Dad admits to smoking pot. He doesn't, but I don't smoke pot, Your Honor, on my time sharing days with my child. I make sure it's all put away. Judge says, Mom, hey, look, I'm sorry, but he testified that he doesn't have it around the child in his time sharing days, and you don't have any evidence that he does. So 50-50. I've seen cases where mom has gone after dad for domestic violence. I like nailed dad for domestic violence. Like maybe dad shoved mom a little bit or slapped her phone out of her hand, and mom got a domestic violence injunction and ran him through the ringer on the custody case, claiming he's violent and everything. And look, I'm not making a joke about domestic violence. It's very serious, okay? There are cases that it's extremely serious. It's never okay. Never, ever put your hands on the girl, right? Just because it's not okay. It's just not. But on the flip, in your legal case, it's gonna make your legal case like so much harder, okay? Nonetheless, I have seen guys get domestic violence injunctions on them, and then we just go through the process. They just trust me, and we go through the process, and they end up with their 50-50, right? Actually, a couple of years ago, I had a case where dude got a domestic violence injunction entered against him. It wasn't a good one either. And not that there is a good one. It didn't sound good. Did not make this dude look good. We just went through the process, and mom was acting stupid, still keeping the kid away. And we ended up getting him the majority. Like he even got more than 50-50. So it is possible. All right. So many dads out there, they hesitate, they hold back, they don't establish their rights because they think that mom, God, she's got something on me. She knows I went to prison last year, or she knows I just got out of jail. And she said she's going to go after me for full custody and go for child support. But if I leave her and the kid alone, she said she won't go after me for child support. So I guess I'm just stuck, right? It doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter what kind of dirt she has on you. Like the courts are going to make a pathway for you to have time with your kid. Now, you got some extreme cases out there where a father has inappropriately sexually touched a kid, or they're convicted of a really serious like child sex crime, or they're just extremely violent. There was an extreme domestic violence incident, maybe with the child present, where there was some serious injuries to mom. Situations like that, obviously it's common sense. That's going to affect your ability to get court-ordered time with your kid. But 99.9% of dads who are watching this content are going to fall way below that. You're just going to fall below that. So you got to just establish time sharing, because here's an example. There will be a case where if dad has 0 overnights with the kid, he might pay $700 a month in child support. But if he gets 50-50, mom might actually be owing him $200 a month in child support. It's crazy. That's how big it swings. Just hear what I'm saying. Like I said, I'm going to be making a video course on this. It's going to be on our website soon. If you haven't already, you have to read the disclaimer in the description below. All of the information in this video is 100% contingent on you reading that disclaimer and understanding it. And so guys, look, I haven't made videos in a couple of years. This is kind of like a relaunch of this channel. This channel is also going to branch out. It's going to start talking about more things family law related. It's going to be not just child support. It's going to be child custody, father's rights, establishment of paternity, divorce. Divorce is a really big one. And it's not just going to be limited to guys. There's going to be information that's going to really be helpful for everybody. Guys, ladies, everyone going through this process. And so I really appreciate y'all hanging through the end. If you like this content, if you like hearing from Sean, hit that thumbs up icon. It really helps me out. Share this link to this video on your socials, right? Share this with a buddy who you know is going through this stuff. Subscribe to this channel. It really helps us out. Check out the website. I'll link in the description below. There's going to be lots of blog content there, lots of additional content that is not necessarily in the videos, that can't go into videos. There's also going to be links to all the courses. All right. There's a free mini course I'm putting out there as a tester to see how it goes. And there's going to be some more bigger, more in-depth, important courses there coming after that. Yeah. Just check us out. Hang out with us, man. Thank you for hanging through the end. I'll see you guys in the next one.